Alright, I'm excited to share with you guys a new stringed instrument coming out of my shop. Just wrapped it up today, and it's a fun one. It's a really fun story. And so let me give you a little background of this banjo that we've affectionately been calling the Cursed Banjo. It's called that because it's gone through 4 different luthiers before me to try and make it, none of which have worked out for a lot of different reasons. It started out with a guy named Dave Large, and he made this pot for someone, the maple part. And so he makes the pot, the guy goes to pay for it and tries to pay for it with a dinner. So he takes Dave out to dinner, and the only place open is a place that serves a fish sandwich, and he said the fish sandwich was ice cold. And so he takes the pot back. The other guy actually wants something else made, and so Dave has held on to this pot for 20 or 30 years. And when the gentleman that has asked me to make this instrument found out this story, he had interest in the pot. So he got this 20-30-year-old maple pot. And along the way, my client has been collecting pieces for this to be made, and he's been dropping it off with other luthiers. So he dropped it off with a luthier that ended up saying, I can do it, it's great, and then reneged on that and said he had other projects coming up and couldn't get to it for a long time. Each time, it took like a year to get in contact with these people, and so it's been a long time in the making. The next person it went to, the guy ended up saying he was too old to finish making the banjo, and so he never finished it. They had some of the pieces, but didn't really do much of the work on it. And then it came to a guy that said he could do it, and he ended up having a long fight with cancer, and so he could not do it. Eventually, it's come to me, but it gets done with me. So this is the Cursed Banjo. We'll give a full kind of design tour and let you guys hear it. So let's get some close-ups and talk about some of the design decisions and requests in this banjo. Alright, so I'm here to film this kind of like a quick look series. The camera angles are a little easier to do. It's less fussy. I think you'll like it better. If you haven't seen the quick look series, it's where I've gone over a bunch of the instruments that I've made. You can see it as a playlist wherever you find that stuff on the YouTube page. But anyways, I thought it'd be fun to walk through this and, as I said, talk through some of the design things as well as some of the complications and challenges. The first off is this headstock. This headstock was no joke to deal with. It was one of the first things I had to deal with because it's quite large, and to accommodate how large this is, I had to make and reference other design decisions in the instrument so that it didn't look so overly fussy or out of place. It didn't look like a giant thing sticking off of a stick. So there are some proportional adjustments that I've made to a traditional banjo for this. Now, the headstock had to be this large to accommodate this large mother of pearl and abalone inlay of this impossible triangle. Now, this was provided, the inlays were provided to me by the guy that asked me to make this for him. So any of these you see, I did not cut them or make them, but I did inlay them all by hand. So we'll look up close here and I'll show you some of the inlays here at the top and down the neck. Alright, let's start here at the top at the headstock. As I said, this headstock is quite big. It's 3.5 inches, a little over, 3.5 inches wide. It has this abalone and mother of pearl impossible triangle, and it's inlaid into a piece of black palm. Black palm is not fun to work with, but I thought it was worthy of this Cursed Banjo. So we have a black palm with the inlay. The back of the headstock, which I'll show in a second, is actually ebony veneer, hence the truss rod cover that's actually a combination of ebony and maple, the 2 primary other woods in here besides black palm. So the back of it has a piece of ebony strapped on. You can see this lovely curly maple neck with the ebony stringer inside. The other inlay are these phases of the moon Let's get that focus. There you go, Phases of the Moon. And like I said, I did not make the shell inlay, but I did inlay it. Now, this one was no fun. That's the fingernail size, little thin piece of shell. But let's look at the pot. So there's all the inlay. You can see some Glamour shots at the end here if you want to take a look. But let's go into the back side of this pot for some other details. All right, here we are on the back side of the pot. You can see I have this little inlaid logo of mine. You can see I've had to make this post, right? And inside the post you'll see I have laser engraved the number, the serial number of the instrument, where it was made, Georgetown, Kentucky, and my name and the year. It has a tubaphone tone ring, the curly maple pot, but this was an interesting feature I decided to add. See if I can get it like this. You'll actually see this rim cap is made of black palm with inlaid little stripes of maple. So this pot had some complications when I got it. Someone had run it through a planer, I believe. There was some snipe where it wasn't level on the top and the bottom. So I had to re-level and re-true the pot here. So visually and technically, I thought it'd be great to add a little more material here. So the black palm matches on the heel cap with the rim cap and the headstock. So another interesting little detail to note, on the post here, I actually not only put in the little lever cap that compresses the neck into place, but I made a black palm washer just to tie it in so it didn't look so stark and didn't have the metal on wood. I never liked that kind of feeling. So I have a sacrificial little black palm washer in there that I think looks really sharp. So I gotta say, I really enjoyed playing this, obviously, and making it, but it's made me quite jealous. I really want to make one for myself almost. Now, it has a Vega-style neck profile, which I really enjoyed. That's what one of my first banjos I ever made was a Vega-style neck, based off of John Reister's Vega. But this one had a couple of design complications that I spoke about earlier, one of which was visually I wanted it to not look so top heavy. So I actually made this a little bit beefier than a Vega. But the second reason is at the request of the person that wanted me to make this, they wanted a truss rod in it. Most Vegas don't have truss rods. And so to make that fit in there correctly and not have any kind of faults, I had to make this just a little bit thicker. But I really, really like the way it came out. It's a tank of a banjo. So we'll hear some now. And then I have some Glamour shots coming up where you can actually hear some recorded sound of what it sounds like. Now in all the other Quick Look series I've done Angeline the Baker, we'll do that here. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch this quick look on the Cursed Banjo and its build. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions, put them below. And if you ever need anything custom made, now you know who to call. stop playing this thing. Tyler, you gotta come pick it up.